Hello and welcome back to episode 18 of the Full Program Golf podcast with me, Josh Conlon, and as always with Stevie McAvoy. Today, we're doing our season review. You might think it's early. Spotify have done theirs. We're doing ours. And as ever, if you enjoy the pod on whatever device or platform you're listening on, we'd love it if you could give us a subscribe, interact with the content, and getting in amongst it. Let's get into it. Stevie, how you doing?
Joshy, how are you, mate? Very good to see you again.
And you. Yeah, you know, it's been unseasonably warm, which gives me a bit longer in my arsenal, in my bank of dealing with bad weather. That's going to, I think, prove useful in the February, March shoulder season that isn't even a shoulder season.
The big coat came out, and I have to say, I'm going to South Africa on Monday. The big coat has gone back away. I've looked at the weather forecast for the rest of the week, and I've thought to myself, do you know what? I think I'm in safe territory now. So didn't see it last year, have seen it this year, but only wore it a couple of times, and I'm not too upset about that. But yeah, the weather has been very nice, and you've been out on the golf course today.
Have been on the golf course. Yeah, we have a winter foursomes in handicap at Royal Melbourne, Surrey, and you know it's always good to get it under the belt a bit earlier, so you don't have to worry about getting a game in when things are happening. Unfortunately, we're out. Game one, lost on the last. You know what? We played nicely. Me and DP, Delta Papa. We played nicely. Didn't quite work out. It's a new pairing. We're understanding which tees we had. It was a composite course today. Did that throw us? Maybe. But just speaking about DP, it was his birthday last week, actually today on the 2nd. So belated happy birthday to him, of course. Just talking about big coats, right? I got my big coat out for the first time in that I was able to be, I was invited to the Fulham Manchester City game. Now, we know that neither of those sides are my team, Sheffield Wednesday, but they play better football than my team. So it was nice to see that. What a game, firstly. Unbelievable game. Like, probably the best game of the season so far. But more to the point, the big coat came out. The big puffer came out. We had it on. I only had to unzip it, didn't I? I only had to go and sit there in the stands with an unzipped coat. I was that warm. It's not
That's
needed.
what 9 goals would do to you.
Absolutely.
All that excitement.
Down like a yo-yo.
I only kind of caught it as I was surfing through BBC Sport the other day, but I believe I saw an article where a BBC Sports reporter predicted it was going to be 4-5 to City, and everyone was just like, "This is the wildest prediction of the season, of the decade." Like, as in, who in their right mind thought that game was going to be 5-4? But what a game to go to! I mean, that will probably be game of the season in terms of just actual entertainment within 90 minutes.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's like a basketball game. And to your point, in like 90 minutes, there might be some really great Champions League games down the line with like extra time, what have you. But yeah, as a 90-minute, just bog standard Premier League match,
Yeah,
I don't think it gets beat.
Yeah. Nice.
Especially for a neutral. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Just enjoyed it. You know what? I was rocking along by the end. When that fourth goal went in, it was from 5-1 to 5-4. I was like, it could be on.
Suddenly you're on the Fulham Club shop thinking, cool, end of season sale.
We'll have a look.
Away alternative top just to throw in the closet.
Of course we'll have a look.
Oh dear. I mean, how was the course out there today? So I played a couple of weeks ago and Mid Surrey does unfortunately turn to Mud Surrey, and I kind of went in my all black, like dark night winter golf outfit, which I quite like to throw on once it goes below about 11 degrees, and I just had this almost like paint speckle look by the end, just where I was just kind of getting copped by the kind of runoff of my divots or thicks or chunks or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it's wet. It is wet. I mean, that's why it's composite. So for those listening, we have two courses. Composite's obviously a amalgamation of the two. Great word there as well. It was wet. It was wet, but they're still doing the drainage. It's been pissing it down, hasn't it? It's just like awful. Greens were all right. Like genuinely, they were fine. But I don't think we ever complain about the greens this time of year. You know, you only really like, they run okay, fine. Like, it's okay. It was good. You know what? It was exactly what everyone knows it is going to be when you play on the 9th of December. It's going to be just keep your eye in, enjoy what you can. You're going to play some wintry golf. You're going to get some dodgy lies. Just enjoy it. Try and play some good stuff.
So I'll tell you a funny story. So we've gone to the mat this year, which is a bit of a contentious topic, kind of. And we got an email sent around to us lot, and it was just like, "Hey, look, these are the list of clubs that use mats," and there were some great clubs in that list. And I, for one, keen for your opinion. I'm pretty pro the mat. Like, I don't really see the point of playing off the stodge. And if it's going to make the course look better for the kind of 7 months of the year where it's in supposedly good nick, I'm all for it. But we had to buy a mat. It was £25, which was one of the sadder purchases I've made from that pro shop over the years. And then you'll know that the trolleys that we have at RMS have the little basket underneath. And, you know, normally we finish our round, we'll kind of stick it on the side, we'll go in for some drinks and then come back and find it at whatever time we finish. We went in, I think it was after Pups Hounds or whatever, one of the big days, and someone had stolen my £25 mat out of the basket. And I said to myself, obviously I'm going away, I miss a lot of the winter myself. I was just like, I'm not spending £50 on an AstroTurf mat. And so when I played the last time, it was a case of hit fairway, pick ball up, move it to rough, play from rough, because I'm just not making that purchase twice.
It's understandable. I won't buy it. I actually didn't buy it from the pro shop because I, in my head, had decided that they're extortionate prices, £25 for a mat. So I ended up spending $24.99 online. So you know what? Felt like, who's the winner? Who's the real winner here? You know? So, 1-0 JC. Thanks for coming. But no, actually, having grown up in Sheffield, playing a lot of golf up there, the courses where I was a member at, firstly Aberdale and then Hallamshire, they had a mat policy. So I'm used to winter needing to use a mat, and for me it makes sense. Again, to your point, if it makes the course better, quicker and more presentable for the months where it really matters, then great. I know we've slagged it off a bit and said it's not been as good as it needs to be in the summer, and so if this is going to help that, then perfect. But yeah, I agree with you. The courses I was a member at certainly was a cheaper membership compared to a Richmond-based London golf club, and we were still given mats. So that's where my gripe would be with that particular piece. But hey, we've got one now. Moral of the story, don't leave it in the basket outside. It's gold dust. It's the most expensive item we all have now.
Yeah, well, and I said, I mean, to that point, I was at Royal Wimbledon getting a lesson a couple of weeks ago. They basically just have a big box of them by the first tee, and, you know, people come, grab it, play, drop it back in, which... Anyway, but as I said, I'm off on Monday to warmer climates, and land Tuesday, golf comp Wednesday, golf comp Saturday. I think it's the only way to start.
It's the only way.
It is the only way. And then I thought I'd put a cherry on top of that cake, which is already really pleasant. I've eaten it a couple of years in a row now. Bought my summer golf shoes because my summer season starts next week.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to the listeners. My summer season starts next week. And I know you're not necessarily the classic FootJoy man, but I just saw this release that they put out on the December 1st, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm a Premiere man. I was like, I'm going to have a bit of that.
Yeah.
And basically, all the comments I've got from people who've seen the post is like, you got to be a player to wear them. And do you know what? I'm not that big of a player, but I'm going to wear them anyway.
Yeah, we have very different taste in golf shoes, don't we?
We do.
Is probably what we see. You know, I think we're pretty close in terms of the brand and everything that we've wanted to create and what we like to see. Yeah, when it comes to golf shoes, I'm a trainer style golf shoe. I actually have also purchased my summer golf shoes because tragically, I've never owned a pair of winter golf shoes, like a pair of black or dark shoes where you can just get them, chock up in mud, like whatever, whip them off, like cool. So I decided that this year is going to be different. I'm going to get some black golf shoes, so that the Dark Knight outfit can really be fulfilled.
Yep.
So obviously you get onto the Black Friday sales, don't you? You do all the bits and pieces. And I swear by Puma golf shoes. I love them. I think they're really, really comfortable. I think they're nice enough. So I got some black ones that, let's be honest, are a blacked out golf shoe. They are. I'm not there for style. They are just like tick
They
the
go straight
box,
to the sword. Like
straight
there's
to the
just no
sword,
other way.
do them.
Yeah.
And I got my fresh whites that are the same style as what I always get now for the last 3 years because I wear them through in a year and then need them again. So I got both of those for a very respectable price with quite a
And
fair
what
bit off.
and what a bit of free promotion. What site suckered you in with the Black Friday deals?
Yeah, a
Please?
bit of free promotion there. I went to Scottsdale Golf, actually.
Did you?
Yeah. I tried a few different. But I just found that they had a decent shoe
Well,
selection.
I mean, as we've heard, a man that's willing to go and save a penny on a bit of Astro mat, I can imagine that you looked at several different options.
It's just good practice. That's all it is.
Do you know what though? Like, in all honesty, great to hear because I think you're a man that I really respect when it comes to golf stuff. Like, I really enjoy going around your flat and seeing the corner of golf things that you've collected over the years. But I'll be honest with you, I'll tell you as a friend, I think you have historically let yourself down in two areas. And they're two quite surprising areas. And that is golf shoes and golf bags.
Yeah. And I accept that. I think the golf shoes piece is being addressed. Yeah. The golf bag piece does need to be addressed. But, I just get quite sentimental about like university bags, whatever it is, and I wear them and use them into the ground. They've got my name on it. I just like it. It just feels good. I got my clubs nicked with the bag that I liked at the back of my car. Then I ended up buying a bag that's so heavy that I can't carry it. So then I've ended up using, all excuses. If any brands out there want to supply me with a lovely bag, I'm in the market. I'm ready for it.
I have to say, what does make it more difficult, and just, we should probably clarify bag rules. Like, how do we feel about having a bag with a club crest that you're not a member of on? Like, what are the bag rules?
Bag rules for me are different to the polo rules. The bag rule is you can have the club that you're a member at printed on your bag if you want to. You cannot, and we know who we are referring to here, and I've told Ryan. I've told Ryan in particular,
and George,
you cannot have a crested bag, logoed bag from a golf course that you've just gone and played. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. The same as you cannot wear polos, quarter zips, merchandise of a golf course that you have not played. You have to play it to be able to wear the merch. I feel really, really strongly about both of those points.
Do you know what? I don't want to invest in the first point because I do think it would be way more fun. And like, Ryan's got a really nice bag from Royal County Down. Yep. He's then sent the pocket off, so it's kind of badges on the side, and then he sent the ball pocket off to get initials and like his dear American flag put onto it. And like, I get it, it's cool, but like, I don't know. I've got an RMS bag, and I think that is the right way to approach it. I'd like an FPG bag. That's what I really want to go to next. But
I'm not buying a bag until the FPG bag's in play.
Yeah. Right. Let's get on to some golf that's been going on because
nice.
That was actually a great waffle. Really enjoyed it. Quite a lot of actual professional golf going on this week just gone. Where would you like to start?
Let's start with the DP World Tour because what I don't understand, and this is just a quick gripe that I want to get out there, why have they got the Nedbank and the Australian Open, I don't know if it was called exactly that, but that event, the same week? It doesn't make sense. They're two great courses that are being played on, two great events that are being played on. Historically, the Nedbank was actually one of the, before it was the Rolex series, but one of the elevated events, whatever they called it back then. I just thought that was a bit of a shame, and and then to also have the Hero on at the same time took more players away. I just thought it significantly weakened every field. Obviously, the Hero is what it is. It's an exhibition match. But I thought it was a real shame that they did both at the same time. One of the things that did creep up, I don't know if you saw this, that was, I thought, quite a nice little thing, little quirk is what we'll call it. Christopher Raitan, who won in Sun City at the Nedbank, and Neergaard Peterson, who won at Royal Melbourne, the non-premier golf club in Melbourne, apparently. Both qualified off the Challenge Tour last year. This year, both finished top 10 of the non-exempt PGA Tour players to get a PGA Tour card, and then won in the same week. Now, I think that's quite a nice set of quirks that, they must be like, hey, how you doing? Oh, you, that sort of thing. I really like that. That's a nice quirk. But yeah, my overriding feeling is it's a shame that they're the same week.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't catch much of the Nedbank, but of course it was in South Africa and it was at Sun City. Now, I've not been there myself, but we've obviously been talking about South Africa a lot on socials of late. I'm going there on Monday. We're all going down there in January. What was your experience there? What are your thoughts on the course? The hotel is obviously very famous as well. Just keen for your thoughts.
Yeah, so way back when, 2014 was when I was there. It was actually a few weeks before the Nedbank. So actually the grandstands were up, semi-up, but like kind of up. The golf course is great. It's hard, it's long, it's a beast, but it's great. It's a really good golf course. And we're talking the Gary Player, like the main golf course. I didn't play the second course. But we stayed in the top hotel there, which is the Palace of the Lost City, rather than the Cascades. I don't know if there's a third now, but at the time they were essentially the two. And the Cascades it's further down into Sun City. Don't get me wrong, it's not a massive place. But Palace of the Lost City, almost you drive through the lot and you get to the top. And I always remember it was my first experience sort of like, obviously in Africa, but first experience where there was a sign in the room saying, please don't leave your windows open because the baboons will come in and just nick stuff, basically. And I was like, that's just, even just that as like a thing to see was cool. The hotel was absolutely unbelievable. And I can remember even now, 11 years later, the steakhouse that they have in the Palace of the Lost City, like almost sat on the water, and they've created this beautiful pool and water area in the steak. And you know how good South African steakhouses can be, and this one was just right up there. It was really, really excellent. And then so we did a couple of nights in Sun City, which was great to chill out in, great to play some golf in. Obviously, it's kind of like their gambling area. It's almost like their Vegas, Atlantic City, I guess, if you're going to call it that. I think it's more like an Atlantic City than a Vegas in that it's okay, like whatever. It's cool.
On a resort.
But then we did, yeah, exactly. But then we did Pilanesberg Game Reserve and actually saw all of the Big Five. So, including the leopard, obviously, which is just the one you don't see, apparently. So, it was a great start to a trip. It was like my first experience in South Africa. And we actually then flew out of Joburg and did Mauritius rather than Cape Town. So that was how that worked. We played a bit of golf out there, and they've been coming higher. The Heritage Golf Course, which is now the number one ranked in Mauritius, and I think the Caribbean is what is kind of being said. And I don't know if it's even in the Caribbean, so I'm probably just talking absolute waffle there. But I think it's number one ranked in whatever area it's now being put into.
So Mauritius is actually interesting at the moment, and I don't know if you follow Marcel Seam on Instagram, but the man just looks like he lives like pretty decent life. So he's just like locked into his off season, and I think he's got a house in Mauritius, and he was just documenting. He was kind of doing like training camp, as he was calling it, where he's a member of one of the clubs out there with his team, just having a practice, enjoying himself on the island. I was just like, yeah, do you know what, Marcel? Good on you.
Absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, really, really good.
So just very quick question on that. So you played Sun City. I said it's definitely one of the kind of marquee places to go golf in South Africa. how would you kind of put it in with Pazula, St Francis Links, Pinnacle Point? I don't know. Just like,
Yeah.
where do you feel in the landscape of South Africa? Where do you feel Sun City lands?
I think it sits in a St. Francis Links type bucket.
Oh, really? So
I think it's
right up
really,
the
really good.
top end.
Yeah, I think it's really good. And don't get me wrong, we played it a few weeks before the event, so the condition of it was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't host an event at a golf club most years if it's dross, and it just isn't. It's great. It's a bit of a schlep to get to in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, I would say it's right up in that 4.5 course rating. St. Francis Links probably a bit ahead of Pazula. Obviously, they went way ahead of Samola as a result. No, but we're
Mm-hmm.
talking in that sort of camp. It's not as good as the Links fan court,
No.
but I think it's in the realms of the next band of golf courses that are really pretty top tier still.
Nice. And so then, as I said, it clashed with the Aussie Open. Aussie Open, by the looks of it, looked like a great tournament. I do think when competitions do go to the kind of elite courses of the world, because there are a good number of weeks that we could mention, even on the PGA Tour, where they go to a pretty average track. But look, regardless if you think Royal Melbourne's the best in the Melbourne area or not, and we're going to come on to that, it's clearly an elite golf course, and it's great to see elite players on it. I also saw that they had in excess of 100,000 people come to the tournament during the week. I think consistently the Aussie golf fans turn up, show they're committed to the sport. And so I do think it's great to see McIlroy and people like that go down there. And I think he even gave a call out of saying, like, the scheduling needs to be better. So essentially more good players come and play in it. The course did look fantastic, and it to be honest, this week has opened my eyes to that area. I've not been down there. I know you have been to Australia. I don't know if you played any golf down there, but by the sounds of it, it a bit like you have the Surrey Sandbelt. The Melbourne Sandbelt just sounds like it on steroids in terms of what the top of the tier it can offer.
I think in many ways it has an argument that area could be one of the best places in the world for golf. It could be, in terms of close location, highest quality golf course like ratings and how they're perceived, and it's just so far away for us. It's well worth it, but it is so far away because you get out there and it's day and a half, 2 days to get there, and you've got to really make sure you've got the time to go. And then all these courses, there's so many you could play. You've really got to get it right, because otherwise you leave there and you go, well, I'm going to have to go again and to get the other lot in. I've never been to Melbourne. I've only done Sydney. Yeah, I've only done Sydney.
To do it properly.
Yeah. As I say, only done Sydney, and then we did a bit of Cairns and South Pacific cruise, which was a bit different, but it wasn't meant to be a golf trip, and it wasn't. So the clubs didn't go. So I still haven't played any golf there. Gasping to be honest. Really, really gasping to. And would love to tie it into a Ashes winter. So you can make it like a real trip. Obviously, it's going to be like another 4 years now. Good job we're not doing it this year, because we'll be 3-0 down and lost by the time the next one starts. But I would love that to be a reason to go and do it that time of year. It looks like it's a great time of year. Play some golf, catch some sport. Just a great trip.
Yeah. So let me pose you a question. So, we've been speaking all week. I said McIlroy's had his comments, but Kingston Heath, Royal Melbourne, Metropolitan, Victoria, just to name a handful, are all seen as like super duper elite golf courses. They look incredible, to be honest. The more I look at it, I think amazing. Do you put that above going to New Zealand? Because I think there's also, incredible offerings in New Zealand. Like, where do you just sit? Like, just gut reaction. Would you be going to Melbourne, or were you going to New Zealand if I was just like, okay, blank check, we're doing one or the other?
Oh, Melbourne all day. Yeah, all day. Because, like, for me, New Zealand, I don't know enough about, but I would imagine they're not going to be as close to each other. Tara ET is obviously unreachable.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Are they called? I think they're called like T Arrow or something like that. But you basically got Tara ET.
TRA. I'm sure I'm butchering that. And
yeah, same. But they've got the north and south
there. But then I don't know. You're still traveling further to do like a Jack's Point and a few of the others. But I don't think they're in the same league as Royal Melbourne's Kingston Heath. I think is it Peninsula, Rosewood, something like, there are loads in Melbourne. Forget then going to like Sydney and playing the lakes or going to Barnbougle down in Tasmania.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think, and then on top of that, you're looking for a bit of a crack and a bit of extra when you're traveling that far, because let's face it, it's a long way for us.
Mm-hmm.
Having the city and having a few more options and able to do a few different bits and pieces, I think would be great alongside having the coastal golf, the inland or whatever, So that's
Yeah.
where I would be.
Yeah, no, and I think I agree with that. And I think it ties in with our kind of, mantra at full program that, you are next to Melbourne, which is an amazing city. And so you really would get an amazing mix of world class golf and, of course, experience as well. So, yeah, I thought Melbourne was probably the winner. Whatever, however, butthurt the Royal Melbourne members are from McIlroy's comments. But, like, here's the reality. We're splitting bloody hairs when it comes to how good these golf courses are. I think they're all phenomenal and all very much on my bucket list. And then we had the Hero, which you touched on. I don't really get the Hero, to be honest.
Obviously we watch it because it's a great field, and I just don't love the invitational, no cut, smaller field. Like, I get it because the big names are just getting guaranteed paydays, and of course they're going to do that. But why does that get world ranking points and Live Golf doesn't? I just don't get it, because it's like, that is just an invitational if that's the whole argument. Don't get me wrong, tuned in, and I thought it was a really good tournament to watch. So, like, who cares? Straka coming back was good to see him perform. I know he's had a really tough time, just from what we hear in the media. With his little boy, I think it was, who's was premature and ill. Bless him, and hopefully that's getting better. But great to see him coming back. Scheffler's a monster. That's just a takeaway. Matsuyama, he's not my favourite. I love Alex Noren. I was absolutely gutted to see him losing the playoff, but love Alex Noren. My boy Rosie always turns up. Just a killer. I thought it was a great tournament.
Yeah, no, I did. I actually thought of you because I know that you mentioned a couple of pods back. I think that you thought basically Noren would have probably gotten that Ryder Cup team if he hadn't been injured, and he's ultimately proving that. I think a healthy Alex Noren is one of the best players we have in the kind of European ranks. And so, yeah, it was a shame to him to just get pipped, but good to see him playing good golf.
It would have been a massive win for him, and I think it's still a massive confidence boost, given he only got one of the 10 cards to get back on the PGA Tour last year, which was a really massive surprise to me, actually. And obviously he's been injured, and that's why he's lost it, but I couldn't get my head around initially going, he's one of the 10? Like, I thought he just had it. It's Alex Noren, he's a big name. So that's basically just set his year up.
And sorry, just because I'm thinking about other things that we mentioned on the last pod. Obviously, Laurie Cantor has now gone off to Live, has rejoined the Majestics, which obviously means that an extra spot has opened up for
Big Dan Brown. Up the boys.
Yeah. PGA Tour, baby.
No. It's going to be really interesting to see how he does.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's going to all be alien, and he's come on so much in such a short space of time. I hope he continues to rise. Even if he doesn't, it's great experience for him to then go again next time, which is what I think might happen. I hope not.
I think he's going to have a really, really good time, because you got to think about it. He's coming from a different angle. Like, he's from DP World Tour, where he's got a couple of wins. So he's got some money in the bank. It's not like he's, fresh out of college, trying to make it on the PGA Tour straight away, living paycheck to paycheck. Bit of money behind him. And if you follow him on socials, he looks like he likes to have a good time. And I could just imagine if he just plays all right, makes a couple of cuts, travels to a couple of cities, bobs around America, I reckon he will have an absolute blast. So I hope he goes well. I think he's one of golf's good guys, great character. And so, yeah, rooting for him next year.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a good time. I just don't know if that's going to help his golf. But yeah, room for him. We'll keep an eye on him for sure.
Okay. Any closing thoughts before we jump into the main section of today?
Let's dive in. Let's get in and amongst it. Let's season review. And how are we going to do this then, Steve? You tee it up. You let us know.
Yeah, so it said we're into season review. We're doing it a little bit earlier because, like you said, Spotify have wrapped. We're going to wrap. Josh and I had a little chat, and we were like, in reality, we're not really going to play any unbelievable golf courses, new golf courses, before the end of the year. So we thought we'd dive into it. And so here's how it's going to work. We are going to go ping pong back and forth and go through each of our own top 5 new golf courses that we played in 2025 and discuss them, break them down. And then we're also going to name a gem each that maybe didn't make the top 5, or maybe it did, who knows. And then we're also going to talk about disappointment, a course that we just thought would show better, and didn't quite meet the mark. And that's it. And so this will be interesting because I think we added the stipulation that it has to be a new course, because otherwise I feel like we do this every year and you just be like, well, and my top 5 is Sunningdale Old. Yeah, like, but you know, Josh, you played it a couple of years. Like, so new courses only, which will be interesting. So I'll let you kick off.
All right.
With your
all
number
right. It's like
5.
top trumps. It's like top
It
trumps.
is.
I don't know if
Oh,
it's
yeah.
in order, but I'm going to bring them out in a few places. All right. I'm going to bring them out in a few places. Are you going to do yours 5 to 1, or are you just
I'm
doing
going to
yours?
go. So the way I envisage this going is you're going to go your 5. We're going to talk about it. It's going to go ping back to me. I'm going to do my 5, and then we're going to and then at the end read them out. Little comparison. I don't think there will be much of a comparison because you play a lot more new golf courses than I typically. But I don't know because it's
Okay.
new golf courses.
Okay. So you want all 5 all at once?
No. You just do your number 5 right now.
Number 5.
And then,
Got you.
And then I'm going to
My
do my
number 5. I've got you.
Mhm.
I'm now, sorry, listeners. What can I say?
And here's the listeners thinking they must talk about what they're going to talk about before they get on. They must have a plan.
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, baby.
Freestyle, baby.
Right, okay. In the number 5 slot,
Yep.
and I've got some honourable mentions that I could talk about, and maybe we'll come to that later. In the number 5 slot, I'm gonna go, and I'm not doing this on like world rankings. I'm not done. I want to just precate.
Wherever you want to go.
I'm just doing it on what was a course that I thought was really, really, really good. I'm starting out closer to home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to Parkstone Golf Club.
Oh, is that the little dolphin logo?
That's the little dolphin logo. Yeah, great logo.
Before we dive into your thoughts there, let me tell you, if you've not checked out our course profile on fullprogramgolf.com, Parkstone has the best course imagery of any golf course on our website.
Right up there. And I have to say, we went in July, I think it was. We played Parkstone Broadstone. It was a really good trip. I haven't mentioned Broadstone. That isn't in my top 5. Isn't there? Good course, but isn't there? Parkstone was just wonderful. Unbelievable condition, great variability of holes, 83 UK and Ireland. So we're not talking like a hidden gem for me. It's not quite in that hidden category because it's still got itself somewhere. But for me, genuinely, I thought it was a magical day. Really, really enjoyed it. I was really impressed.
And so you mentioned Broadstone there, and so they're a pair that are going to go together very often on golf trips. What made Parkstone better than Broadstone?
I think there's a few stretches of weak holes at Broadstone. I think the course condition of Parkstone is just a touch above. Broadstone is a bigger golf course and would probably be more able to host crowds, but I think has a few stretches of holes where you go, this is okay. Some really good holes, and it's a good track as well. But Parkstone just has much more. It mixes it up much more. It has some gettable par 5s, drivable par 4s, but then it has some beasts. It's got some good short par 3s, longer par 3s, uphill, downhill. Really great use of land.
We're talking Parkland course.
Parkland, yeah, it was complete Parkland down in Bournemouth Way. It just had that extra finish and that extra bit of quality that, especially playing it back to back, you just see the difference instantly. Yeah. Nice. Don't get me wrong, Broadstone's great and would absolutely recommend playing the 2 of them. There's a couple of others down there as well that are really worth playing, but Parkstone, it comes in at the number 5 slot for me, for sure.
Nice. Nice, very good. As I said, yeah, become very popular going down to the kind of Bournemouth way this year. Lots of people putting some kind of efforts into that. So great to hear you enjoyed yourself down at Parkstone. So my number 5, and this is where I think this list is going to be interesting because you just don't know who's played it for the first time in 2025. And so my number 5 is my first W, and that is Wolston. And so I've been just itching to get on this golf course because we've got a couple of friends that are members there. I've had loads of invites. I've just had to turn it down every time. So finally, I said yes, went down, played with good friend Tom and Sam Runham, and I just had a really nice day. I was with really good friends. The sun shined on us. It was kind of late season, but the course was, I felt, in good nick. I actually we talked about it, didn't we? And there's various opinions that it wasn't necessarily its very best, but compared to what we'd been playing, it was in good nick. I played really well. I was level par for 16 holes and then just a couple of lost balls, but we focused on the good bits. And I just thought it was smart. It had a great feel. Really enjoyed the back-to-back par 5s on the back 9. I thought it was fun, gettable, interesting. It didn't blow me away, but I just came away and I was just I had a really nice time there, and it was well worth the wait. And so I just had to find a spot for it on my top 5, and so I'm going to slot it in the first spot.
Nice. I like that. I think they're two comparable golf courses. I think we're both in the same area at the moment.
Yeah.
So number 4, going to move slightly further afield than Bournemouth, which, don't get me wrong, is a fair schlep, but slightly further away. And my number 4 slot is St Francis Links, which is out in the middle of nowhere. Let's be honest, it's a pain to get to, but it is so worth it. It is such a good golf course on the way, just down Western Cape. Western Capes?
Yeah. No, if it's getting to the Eastern Cape by the time you get to Francis Bay. Yeah, it is really in the middle of nowhere. It's one of those ones that I think we both feel pretty good about the fact we've ticked it off and that we don't really ever have to go and make that journey ever again.
Yeah. But again, just for the listeners, you would. It's a long way, don't get me wrong, and there's so much to cover and so much to do, but it is that good that if you were going anywhere near it, you would make the trek again. If I was in Plettenberg Bay, I'd say you should go and play St Francis Links, even though it's an hour and 45, maybe 2. I think it's brilliant. I just think that, again, thinking about the difference in the holes, the conditioning, I think it was a shame that the clubhouse wasn't open. I think that does take away some of that vibe, but
yeah,
I think we're talking one of the top tier golf courses in South Africa, frankly, let alone down in that area. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my number 4.
A great golf course, and it was. So we all kind of came off and we were just like, that is a proper 18-hole course. I think sometimes the courses in South Africa can feel a bit resorty in places, but this was proper championship, 18 holes, good variation, good topography, bit of water on that back 9 as well. I think when the wind blows, it could be an absolute nightmare. I think there were some very strong beast holes, and then we had those interesting par 4s. You remember the one that had literally the tightest, thinnest fairway you've ever seen, and then we had that drivable par 4 with an incredible bunkering. I just think great variation, really strong golf course, and so yeah, not surprised to see that come into your top 4. So to my top 4, my 4th best new course that I played in 2025. I really toyed with the position for this one, but I just feel like it had to find a spot somewhere, and that is Ganton.
Okay.
Interestingly, so Ganton's World Top 100. It was, I think, my only new World Top 100 that I ticked off in 2025. I actually think I probably came away, dare I say, disappointed by it. but it still was really, really, really good. I don't know if that it kind of strikes any kind of chord with you, but like it was very
Yeah.
cool. The history was amazing. It was set up incredibly because we played it straight after the DP World Tour versus Yorkshire game. It just isn't necessarily my preferred style.
Yeah, I'm a big vistas guy, and I think it's just like much more rugged terrain. And don't get me wrong, we're still in really good nick. And that would be in my honourable mentions. And don't get me wrong, it's a very honourable mention. But for me on that trip, it wasn't even my favourite golf course that I played. I preferred Hollingwell. So if I'm doing what do I prefer, I'm sure there's people screaming at listening to this. It just wasn't. It didn't blow me away. I think it's a great golf course, and I can see why it's ranked where it's ranked. But I just prefer other things, and it
Yeah, yeah.
kind of
So,
is
so by
just
the
as
sounds of
simple
it,
as that.
yeah, we're in a similar camp there. But there is merit to the fact it's kind of, again, we're talking about middle of nowhere. This is almost the sort of Francis Links equivalent in the UK, like up by Scarborough. It really is not close to anything else. You can just about tie it into a Yorkshire trip, and that is what we did. It's a great polo to pick up. It's a great bull market to pick up. It's a great one to tick off. I think we got it on a great day, and so a cool experience, but just not 100% my style of golf course. And for that reason, it makes the top five. And I really played about with this, but it's only going to be number 4.
Yeah, and I think you've also got to bear in mind that these are, of course, subjective rankings, and we played it in March, I believe. So whilst we got good weather, the course isn't going to be the same as if we played it in July or name a date when a course is going to be their particular peak season. It's going to
Mm,
change depending on the country you're in and what have you. But the other thing that I think would really add to that experience is staying in the dormy house and them hosting you on site and being there and really grasping the history that it's got and the
mm,
hosting that they will do there for the night before, I would say, would probably be the best, so that you can
mm.
then get up and play the golf. Which we didn't. We just shot up because obviously we were nearby anyway.
Yeah, and I think actually that's a great point. So we did play it early on in the season. It wasn't really good nick, and I think the
Yeah,
kind of course was in good nick all year. But I can imagine. Well, I can't. I can tell you the rough wasn't up, and I would have thought when the rough is up, that might do a bit more shaping to the golf course and maybe just visually improve it a little bit, make it harder. And it was hard enough anyway. But yeah, that is just something to mention.
yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. And I also, thinking back to the vlog we did,
Mm,
my dad recently doesn't say much about listening or watching. I know he does, bless him. But the eagle putt that I had on the par four, where I drove it to about 10, 12 feet, he turned around to me the other day and he just went, "Cool, that was a shite putt, that wasn't it? It really was." Just like out of nowhere, I was like, "Cheers, like thanks." He's like, "Yeah, I was just watching that back, and you must have been disappointed with that effort." I was like, "Cheers, like, thank you,
it was a
thanks for
great drive.
watching." You're not wrong, but thanks for watching.
Yeah,
Anyway, I
just
thought
a
that'd be a
sucker
little.
for a spire target line, aren't you?
Just love Aspire. We just love Aspire. Yeah, the other one was West Langs, wasn't it? We just love
Yeah,
Aspire.
yeah, yeah.
So moving into number 3, I've got 3 big hitters now, and I feel like this is
Hey,
where I can really gain some ground on even
looking
the
forward to
rank,
them.
even on the purists. Number 3 is going to be St George's Hill. Back straight into top 85th in the world, I think it is. Um, it's been a course that ever since I moved to London has been on my list. So it's a golf course that you have an aspiration to go and play. I think the clubhouse is an iconic clubhouse in golf. Forget England. I think it really is one of those clubhouses you have to go and see. Everyone I've spoken to, everyone we've sent to has loved St George's Hill. The hospitality, the clubhouse, the golf course is all we hear was is brilliant. The pro shop, everything, right? All of the P's that we like and everything and more. And it's rare that you have a day where played well enough. If I actually got better as the day went on and actually played pretty nicely and scored pretty well at the end. Um, it's pretty rare that a golf course lives up to your hopes and expectations of it. And I think for that, and on top of the course that it is, it has to be in It's in the third spot. It has to be in the top five.
Hey, that's going to be a big top three. I'm looking forward to what comes next. But yeah, so we obviously got the fortune of playing it together. I had played it before though, so I couldn't enter into my list, but it obviously would have featured if I could have put it in there. I think really this is where, and we spoke about it on previous pod, and you compare it to something like a Wolfston, which I put in my fifth spot. Wolfston does have some slightly weaker holes on it. I think St George's Hill is near enough 18 good golf holes. It is a really, really solid, big boy, top 100 Surrey golf course.
It's a must play. It's a must play in the area.
I completely agree. I just echo basically every point. I love it. That does suit my eye. Beautiful, beautiful, tall pine tree, heather, elevation changes. Oh yeah, it is such a good golf course. And like you said, you drive through the estate, the massive houses. Like it's. I could wax lyrical about St George's Hill for a very, very long time. Cool. Well, I feel like this is where a bit of a gap's going to open up by the looks of things. But into my third favourite golf course new golf course from 2025, another spot I really toyed with. I'm going to give an honourable mention at the end, and I kind of was thinking, it doesn't really make sense, the fact that the honourable mention didn't even make the list in the end, but I was kind of thinking, which course do I put into number 3? And I'm going with Pinnacle Point in South Africa.
Yep, I've got that down as an honourable mention.
Okay, and do you know what? I'm going to actually say the honourable mention. My honourable mention is Bazula, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of, so, what else did we play? We played Samola. I didn't think much of that. A comparatively good golf course, but like just not the same. And I was just like, right, Pazula and Pinnacle Point. I think Pazula is probably a better golf course that I'd probably want to play more often. I'd want to be a member of, and, like definitely Pazula. But then I was just like, but what have I got the memories of? What have I got the videos of? What do I speak about more? And if we're talking just like the one-off time playing, like we did, Pinnacle Point is an incredible golf course. Like, yes, it's on the side of a cliff, and it's kind of not a golf course in the sense that sometimes, like, it's like fairway, or you're off into the sea. But it's just a pure golfing experience. If you catch Pinnacle Point on a good day, you've got the phone out on every tee box. You come up, you crest over hills, you look at the next hole, and you're like, oh my God, like, it's literally got like 14 holes that could be other golf courses' signature holes. And I think for that reason, I decided to put it in above Pazula. But Pazula is an honourable mention. And so my number 3 is Pinnacle Point down South Africa.
I get it. I have a love affair with Pazula, of course. I think it's fantastic, but I get it. And I think as a standout course that you're playing once or whatever, Pinnacle Point does just have some breathtaking golf holes that you should go and see, because it is just beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, again, this comes down to the subjective nature. I caught the shanks on the back nine a little bit. Didn't play as well. I got done with a few bad bounces, and you know what? I got mardy, and I didn't enjoy it as much, because it's one of those golf courses that if you don't have your game, as you say, it's fairway and gone. So it's just, I've tugged that a bit. Oh, you've lost your ball. And I just didn't feel like I played well enough to be able to really enjoy the tight nature of every tee shot. I love the views, big vista guy, which you'd think maybe Pinnacle Point's in there, but just, again, it comes down to, as I mentioned, that subjective nature. You have to play well on a golf course to enjoy it. I can't say I didn't enjoy it, but I think if I'd have played better, it might have sneaked like the 5th spot for me.
Yeah, and and I think I didn't play that great, but I did play with Crouch, and like Crouch did get it round there, and I was like, oh yeah, that must be fun. All right, now, well, St George's Hill is your third. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's coming in here.
So this is we're actually dropping down a level, you'd argue, but I think the only reason it's dropped a level is because it's a private club. So for me, in number two is the Renaissance Club up in Scotland. I think it's
Mm.
absolutely sensational. Again, subjective nature. I played lights out, like absolutely lights out. They had the stands up for the Scottish Open that was coming pretty soon after. I think that's great. It gives it some added features. You can see where the pros are playing. We've got a shorts and a t-shirt day in Scotland. It was just one of those days Scottish golf gives you every so often. And it was just a pleasure. It was a joy to be on. We had a good game, played nicely. And I
That's great.
actually think that it gets a bit of stick, actually, Renaissance Club. I think a few people say, oh, it's not as good. It's because it's not rugged links. It's not a Scottish links.
Mm.
It's the private members element to the Renaissance, and the hospitality and the clubhouse is beautiful. I don't love the logo, but like that's not what we're including. But I think as a golf course, it's right up there. It's not got the history and the prestige that the history brings. But if you
Mm.
take all of that away and you get rid of your snobbiness, it isn't 74th UK and Ireland. That's just bollocks. It's complete waffle, whoever's ranked that. They don't know golf, whoever's ranked that. It's stupid. It's so much better than that. It's quality. And
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
my really strong plea about sort that out.
It's funny. I've actually been looking at kind of into East Lothian golf courses this afternoon. So that is a good mention. And yeah, it looks class. Haven't played it myself, but would love to get out there. And I do just think there's factors into how much you enjoy a day on the golf course, and when you get a good day in a Scottish or Irish links area,
Take some beating.
it does take some beating. Like, God makes you work for those days, and by God, we enjoy them when they come. Nice. Yeah, well, as I said, I think we're separating a little bit, and I'm actually not going to spend a huge amount of time on my second because
Okay.
we have just touched it. And my second is St Francis Links. So, yeah, much the reasons that we've discussed. A very good golf course, but we won't go over it twice. So, do you know what? Just going to let you keep your momentum and hit us with the Josh Conlon 2025 number one new golf course that you played.
And for me, this was easy. Like genuinely, it's not always going to be the case, but I instantly was like, that's number one because I think it might be my favorite golfing day I've ever had. We're in the same region, North Berwick. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. You think about vistas, you're thinking about Pinnacle Point and it being like 14 holes where you have views and whatever. You got the same at North Berwick, and they're actually golf holes, and it's actually a golf course, and it's playable, and the wind's switching, and it's pretty much out and back. But it weaves between them, and you get loads. You've got the little wall hole, which I think is like 12, something like that. It's just, and again, I know I said every few years you get a day of Scottish golf where it's just beautiful weather, da da da. And we got back to back, Renaissance North Berwick. And it was just like, what is going on here? Carried on playing good golf, which, as we all know, that impacts your day. Pure blue skies, not too much wind, but enough that you can feel the test. Lots of chances for birdies, lots of chances to make millions. And just one of the great days on a golf course, on and off it. We turned up 2 hours early because we thought the tee time was an hour earlier. And they were like, hey, yeah, don't worry about it. We've got I think it was the Open. We've got the Open on. Got to head upstairs, like crack on, head into town. What you want? Like the hospitality was great. They couldn't have been more helpful with everything. Got a couple of four caddies, which was cool. And it's just from the moment you get on that first tee with the beach is actually in play. It's red stakes, but you can go and play off it. And one of the boys did, Harry, he went and played off it. Just from the moment you start, it's just fun and it just challenges you and you've got the views. And honestly, I could just carry on. I could carry on forever about it. It was unbelievable. And I think it's 43 in the world for a very good reason. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people say North Berwick is their favorite golf course, and I think fun is just the word that tends to kind of come to mind immediately. Fun, unique, and as I said, if you catch it on good weather like you did, then it's hard to beat. It really is hard to beat. Really, it feels authentic, and you look at, I think it's the 15th. The Redan is one of the most imitated holes in the whole of golf architecture now. Like it just has such historical significance. You can shoot a good score, you can shoot a bad score, and yeah, it's really golf at its purest and its finest, I think. So, very jealous that you managed to tick that off in
We'll get
25.
you there. We'll get you there.
Yeah, absolutely. So then to round out my list, and just to put this in perspective, this is a golf course that Josh did play in 2025 and didn't even make his top five. So we're not even going to put them side by side, but it is subjective. So
Yep.
wind back a little bit. Can you guess where I'm going to go?
I made a couple of notes down here. So Hollingwell.
Hollingwell.
Yeah.
So my number one's Hollingwell. Now, not necessarily engulfing Mecca, Hollingwell, kind of in the Midlands, near your kind of Sherwood Forest and your Coxmoor. So there's enough good golf around.
Yep.
But Hollingwell it could be the hidden gem as well. It is just a really surprisingly good golf course. You kind of go in through this long drive in these tall trees, and it just kind of opens out into this patch of land. It's been open qualifier, regional qualifier, final stage a couple of times, and I played well. It helps.
It
We've
helps.
always spoken about that, but I just thought it was a really, really nice, fun golf course where the holes fit the land really, really well, and it felt wild. It felt private. We got it with the heather was purple, the gorse was yellow, and I just had a really good time. And I said, I think if that course existed in Surrey or somewhere of kind of more significance to the golfing world, I think it would be talked about more. And so Hollingwell's my number one, and as I said, I think it's hidden gem. It's an absolute must go and do if you ever kind of find yourself in that part of the world. Then do not sleep on Hollingwell Golf Club.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't have it as my hidden gem, but it's in my category of honourable mentions. I think it's brilliant. I think that the only thing that lets Hollingwell down is the course condition. It's still in good nick, but if it was in the nick that Ganton was in at the same time, it would be like, oh my word, this is just
Yeah,
mega.
and it was the greens. It was the greens just to kind of to zero in on that. And I think we played it in early April.
Yeah,
they were just nowhere near
slow.
as good as Ganton or Hallamshire, which would be even better than Ganton's, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, absolutely fair. But I'd imagine if you caught it in good nick, then well, you'd be really onto something there. But just from a course design perspective, visually, the styling of it, really enjoyed it. And as I said, that makes top of my list. So I don't think there's any comparison, but year to year, it'll be interesting to see how we ebb and flow, because as I said, there's only going to be a certain number of new golf courses to cover. We're obviously going to cover quite a lot of new ones together each year as well. So it's funny to see kind of where they then slot in. But now let's just move on and kind of conclude here. So we've got now two more categories to fill each. So we've got hidden gems. You can hit them with the honourable mentions as well if you want. And then we've also got to do the disappointment of the year.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start with the honourable mentions because we're not going to go there. They're not going to be mentioned. But the honourable mentions, a couple fall into the hidden gem category, a couple fall into the could have been top five that just didn't quite make it. We've covered Pinnacle Point, we've covered Ganton, we've covered Hollingwell. They were all like courses that I thought great. The other one I really enjoyed that I actually played was Lip Hook. I thought that was really, really excellent. And just purely as an honourable mention. It's not going to get in the top five, but I thought it was really good. And then for my hidden gem, had two that I think could both fall into this category. I played one of them better. It's simple as that. So my hidden gem is going to be Northants, which I loved. The home of Justin Rose. You know we love Justin Rose. But I went with lower expectations. It's only an English ranked golf course. And the course the course condition was really, really excellent. And I can see why it's only an English ranked course in that there were a couple of weaker holes. Of course there were. But there was a lot of really, really good stuff in there. And I know we played it, didn't we? So I played decent. I played nicely, actually. You probably go as far as to say. And I just thought it was a beautiful summer's evening that we had that is always, for me as well, a magical time of the year where you can play golf when you go out at 4 o'clock. So don't get me wrong, I'm already in a better mood. I'm feeling good. I'm enjoying it before I've even stepped foot on there. Playing okay to start with and went on to play decent as well. All adds to it. I just really, really enjoyed it. And the final honourable mention that nearly got hit my gem, which you have played before, I think, so I guess isn't yours, is Ipswich, Curtis Heath. I thought that ran it really close. The only reason I haven't got it as a hidden gem is because it's higher ranked. And I thought they were like a comparative course. So I've just gone for what's the lower ranked, in that you might overlook it because it's in an area where you might travel to and play somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I thought that was also fantastic.
Nice. So I played Ipswich, Woodbridge, so that kind of trip that we did obviously couldn't come into my year. I also had two gems. I had Northants as one as well, because I said I just don't think it's a course that people necessarily have on the radar, especially if you live in London. Like, it's actually a very easy commute out to. We went out and played it at 4 o'clock, got a twilight deal, and super easy and well worth doing. I played absolutely horrendous. There were 2 rounds this year that come to mind. One was at George Golf Club in South Africa, and one was at Northants, where I malfunction is the only way to describe it. Like, I actually can't hit the golf ball at all, and so I'm having to look past that to put this on the list. But it was really nice, and it was a beautiful evening. And complete sod's law. I played so bad all day, and then I drained like a 45-footer for a birdie on the last, and I was just like, what are we doing?
We're back.
Anyway, but then I'm glad I put a second, because you've already mentioned it. My second gem, and I'm actually going to then give my disappointment straight away because they're tied together. My gem is Loch Erne, the Faldo course in Northern Ireland. Now, this is on our website. You can go check it out if you've not heard about it before. A course that I put on our website, and I was just like, it's well ranked. I think it's top 10 in Ireland as a country, so a very good course. Or Northern Ireland, no, top 10 Northern Ireland. But it's really in the middle of nowhere. It is in southwest Northern Ireland, which is landlocked to Ireland down that corner. And I just happened to have a wedding there, and so I kind of rounded up some boys and went and played it.
One of your many weddings.
Well, yeah. And then it's kind of foresty, and then it's obviously around a loch, as the name suggests. So some beautiful holes on the water, and then I said you head off into the trees. Got it in a bit of a grizzly day, but great elevation changes, really good vistas. Like, you'd enjoy it, and well worth. If I wouldn't necessarily build a trip round it, but like, if you're in the area, well worth paying a visit. Now I'm going to roll straight into my disappointment, because my biggest disappointment was their second course, the Castle Hume course. So, because this is the middle of nowhere, you really need, I think, several golf courses to kind of pull you into the resort. And so the Faldo is good, but what you do is you do 1 night, 2 rounds. That's kind of the deal that they offer out. So you stay in one of these kind of like turret room hotel things. If you look it up, you'll understand what I'm saying. Really cool, looking out over the water. So Faldo, good, hidden gem. Like I said, second course is called the Castle Hume course, and it's no better than like your most bog standard pay and play that you pay. I mean, I'd be upset if the green fee was above £35.
Okay,
and I said to them, because They didn't know I was full program golfer. We were just staying, whatever. And I got asked for feedback, which I thought was anonymous at the end of the stay. And I was just like, great hotel, loved the stay. Faldo was fun. Castle Hume, in slightly nicer words, was rubbish. And their director of golf actually emailed me back, and I kind of said to them, I was just like, you're in the middle of nowhere. You've got to have a better second course to get people to travel out to you. And so, yeah, thought that was a shame. So that was my disappointment. That's probably the worst golf course I played in 2025. And so, just rightly so, goes into my disappointment spot. But it was disappointing, particularly because I paid for it as a kind of resort destination package. So yeah.
Fine. So I've got a different track for my biggest disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you played probably your worst golf course, and that's what your biggest disappointment is. On paper, my biggest disappointment is the best golf course I've played this year, which is the Honourable Golf Club of Edinburgh, Muirfield.
Whoa!
Calling
Here
it
we
out.
go.
Calling it out. It's bollocks. It's bollocks.
So
it is. Yeah, go on, ask.
Well, yeah. So I haven't played it, but I've gone to the Open there, so I know the golf course. So I'm really excited to hear your thoughts. Go for it.
Factually, I can see why it's a well-ranked golf course. It has the history. There are some good holes. It's in good nick. I just think it's so boring. Having played many of the Open courses, it's ranked 10th in the world apparently. The expectation is really high. So don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here and saying it's a shit golf course. I'm not doing that. That's stupid. That would just be clickbait, like wrong. But you go with expectations when you get a Muirfield package and you're like, wow, got the Muirfield day, really excited. You got your 18 holes in the morning, lunch, and then foursomes 18 holes in the afternoon. So 9 holes. And it's a big day. They host really well. The lunch is spectacular, I have to say. The lunch does stack up. It is brilliant. You get your jacket tie on. The food's brilliant. The amount of different stuff they have, fantastic. But I just felt the golf course was really plain, really average. If you didn't have a tick where you could remember every hole you've ever played like I managed to have, there's so many forgettable golf holes because it's just like strong par 4, strong par 4, strong par 4, strong par 4. It just gets boring. There's not that much variance around. There's the thing that was really frustrating for me. You got par 5, I think it's the 6th, just saying it quickly. I can work it through, but no one wants to watch me just go. About 6 or 7. You've got the par 5 that's right up the far perimeter, let's say. And it's actually winding me up because I actually think it's the 5th, and it is the 5th, and it's just wound me up a little bit. I got it wrong out of the gate. So you've got, the par 5 5th, and you look to your left, which is like out to sea, and there is enough land to fit 9 more holes in. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they'd be good golf holes, but we talked to I'm a Vista guy, and there's completely unused just earth, land, that would actually be able to then overlook the sea and have some holes down the side and this and that, right? Now, again, I'm not a golf architect, so shoot me for saying that that's a problem, but it is a problem to me. I thought, don't get me wrong, there's good holes on it. Of course there are. It's an open track. It's Muirfield. It's a good golf course. But when we think about biggest disappointment, it really is about I'd built this up to be so good, and the premier course in this trip that we'd done, and it wasn't better than Renaissance, and it wasn't better than North Berwick. It's better than Lough Ness. It was better, better than Archerfield. But so it should be. It should be number 1 in that area, given it's 10 in the world apparently, and it just wasn't. It's number 3 in the area, and I'm not even trying to do a McIlroy and start winding people up like he did Royal Melbourne. It is number 3 in the area. And I said this to a few people, and they're like, nah, don't agree. Muirfield's brilliant. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking What are you talking about?
Yeah, I love it. I love it that you've put it as your biggest disappointment. But it's slightly lost on me how it's 10th in the world. Like I actually really don't get that.
Crap
Um,
range. Crap range.
it's just it's just
off
not
Astro.
like, I don't know why this is coming to mind particularly, but just like, you think of something like Trump Aberdeen compared to it. Like, there's no way you play the old course at Trump Aberdeen and then play Muirfield, and you're like, Muirfield is a better 18 holes. There's
100%.
no
Even
way.
Turnberry. The Ailsa at Turnberry.
Yeah.
Talking that's number 12. Royal Dornock, played that. It's number 13. Better. They're better. Like, it's just
Yeah.
not even a question. They're not even in the
Yeah.
same
So,
camp.
yeah, but I get the history, and it really is. It is people from East Lothian who are big golfers. Like, it is the jewel. Like, it's really spoken about and put on this pedestal out there, and to be a member there is a really big deal. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I walked around it for 4 days, and there's some cool holes, but like you said, you don't really see the sea much at all, and it's just like not that dramatic.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it. Uh, Nice. I enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed that. I have no idea if people are going to listen and think, "God, these boys are waffling," but that was a good exercise. And do you know what? I'm really looking forward to stacking it, hopefully over many years, and kind of seeing. Hopefully, be able to look back and be like, "Oh, the 2025 list from Josh was just like what a year that was," kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know, any kind of like leaving thoughts for us.
No, I think it's great to have the privilege to be able to do it, right? And
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest takeaway of we're able to sit here and talk about golf because we play a lot of golf and we're really fortunate to do that. I also am looking forward to looking back and looking at, okay, is that like almost like you look back on Premier League teams or whatever your teams are, whatever your sport is, you go, God, that was a particularly good year. And we can compare those years and those courses and things like that. And that just shows the subjective nature of golf is what we love. It's what people come back for. People love things that others don't. And I'm just feeling really grateful is what I'm trying to say. Getting into the festive season.
This is like our Thanksgiving. We're thankful. We're thankful. There's one for our American listeners. All right, cool. Well, I said, thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the 2025 review. As ever, we are Full Program Golf on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Got loads of stuff going out at the minute. Please do like and subscribe. And Joshy, I will see you in the next one.
Love it. Speak to you soon.